Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host,
Grandma Gail.
Grandma, what is new with you?
Really nothing. I've been figuring out what to do this weekend, making some plans because we're going to go to the beach. I'm getting new porch furniture, which is like I haven't gotten new porch furniture in 25 years. So this is a major event of the century. Huge. And of course, Poppy doesn't think everything's going to get there, but I'm being confident. That's my big plan. And then I guess, I don't know, I think I'll hang out a little bit in Sag Harbor, take a walk around. I really, if the weather's nice, I would even go out to Montauk for the afternoon on Sunday. But
Look at you. Are you going to go to Surf Lodge and Bounce and all the bars that my friends go to?
no, I can't get into those places. I'll probably just go to some cute little, there's a place in Neapog that I love for lunch called the Clam Bar. And
If there was a line at a bar, would you go up and be like, I'm Grandma Gail, let me in, or just wait on the line?
I think I would probably wait on the line unless somebody said, "Ooh, there's Grandma Gail. Let her come in front of us." I don't think I would push my way in yet. I haven't gotten to the superstar status yet.
A-list.
Right. No, I consider us A-list.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's...
No, I definitely.
You and me think that and no one else.
I don't care.
So, I'm going to Newport this weekend
That
with
is
my
one
girlfriends.
of my favorite places. Absolutely beautiful. You have to go to that the Turo synagogue. That's really beautiful.
I don't think we're going to do that while I'm there.
Why don't you just go? Even though your friends might not be Jewish, it'd be fun to go see it. It's
Maybe.
beautiful.
We'll
It's the
see.
oldest synagogue in the United States, actually.
Yeah. So we're doing a lot of dating talk today. One thing I want to discuss, so we did a TikTok recently of grandma's tips on how to act like a lady when inviting a guy over to your apartment. And it got a lot of hits, and people's responses were really interesting because people were like, this is so nice. I would never, like, no girls do this anymore. If a girl did this, I would make them my wife immediately. And they were such simple things. They were like, ask what he's in the mood to eat. Like,
And make an hors d'oeuvre.
have hors d'oeuvres and wine out.
Right. I mean, how hard is it to put a piece of brie out with some crackers and have a bottle of wine on a table and make it look festive? See, I think that's the problem. People are so busy with themselves. It's such a Me Too generation, and that they're not thinking of how.
That's not what Me Too means. Me Too is the sexual assault.
I didn't mean that. What do I mean by this?
It's just like a selfish
No,
generation.
it's like the millennials are always into themselves.
Yeah.
Not Me Too. Forget that, guys.
So one girl was like, 99% of men nowadays don't even deserve a crust of bread and water when coming
Oh,
over.
I feel so sorry for her. See, I don't agree with that. That's that. Then you shouldn't even waste your time with that kind of person. But if somebody's nice and you really like them and you're having a good time together, it's nice to entertain in your own apartment if you have one.
People
And-
also loved the idea of like making dessert together.
Well, I thought that's a great idea. I've seen that on, you know what? I'm watching too many of those Hallmark movies, and everybody always makes cupcakes together at the end of the movie. I think it's a great thing, and I wouldn't have thought about it years ago, but I do think it's a fun activity, and it also breaks the ice. If you haven't been dating that long, it can be a fun thing to do and makes you a little more relaxed together.
Yeah. Well, people were also like, why can't I wear sweatpants?
Because I don't think you should wear sweatpants to a dinner with a date. I really don't. I don't care where you're going. I wouldn't even wear sweatpants.
I did that once going to somebody's house.
Well, I don't. Why? Was it freezing cold? I mean, maybe it was a Super Bowl type of thing.
No, it wasn't. It's just like, well, if you're going to someone's apartment, I thought it was a lot to just wear jeans.
Well, I think that sweatpants belong in perhaps the gym or walking around the streets. I don't think it's or going out with girlfriends. You want to go out with your girlfriend, you can certainly put sweats on. But when you have a guy that's taking you out or you're taking him out, get dressed. Look nice.
Someone was like, can she start teaching master classes on how to be classy?
I have no time.
Yeah.
My granddaughter's got me booked up for the rest of my life.
That's so true.
I can't give any more classes out. Otherwise, I have no me time.
I've been back on the dating apps a little bit. And
Which I hate, but okay.
I know. And I feel like I'm kind of just doing it just to see. Like, I don't even know if I'll act on any of the dates on it. But I was just like, I don't know. I haven't been on them for like a year. And I was just curious. And so Hinge has this setting now of you can put what kind of relationship that you're looking for. So
Oh.
like, do you want a short-term relationship? Are you looking for nothing serious? Are you looking for something long-term? And that's like a feature, and you can see what people's like real motivations are. What do you think about that?
Well, my feeling about these apps are not so positive. I understand the need for them because it's hard to meet people when you're working all day. But I think it's a good idea, actually, because if somebody just wants to go out and have a drink and just have a casual evening, then they know it right off the bat. And if they're looking for something, a long-term relationship, if the other person really isn't into that, then why waste anybody's time? So I do think that actually it's a good idea.
But do you think anyone's going to say honestly what they want on there?
Well, if they don't, then there's no use to going on those apps. I mean, I think that's the point of the whole thing, to filter out the things that you don't want. I mean, if you're going to lie on the app, which I'm sure plenty of people do, about whether they're young, old, whatever, then I think it defeats the purpose. But I actually think the idea of clarifying what you're looking for is beneficial.
So I've been like playing around with it, and I've noticed a few things that I want to go through with you and get your opinion on.
Okay.
So when somebody like is having a conversation with you and says something, and then you don't respond for like a day or two, and then they follow up again, like question marks, or like, why haven't you responded? Like, that's the biggest ick in the world. Like, why would somebody do that?
Well, first of all, why wouldn't you respond?
Because I'm not looking at it every single day.
Well, I think that's a lie. I think everybody looks at their phone every
Or
single
I
day.
just wasn't sure if they were cute. You're
Well,
right.
I think that's a lie. Everybody does look. It's like when somebody says they're not looking at their phone,
You're
I
right.
know what world are they in.
Yeah.
But I think you do owe somebody a response. And if you're not going to respond, then it's almost rude.
Okay, so what if you're on two different dating apps? Like, let's say you're on Hinge and Raya,
Right.
and you match with the same person on both.
So what? That sounds good. Then you both must have commonalities that both of you like and accept it.
But then which one do you
you're on.
talk on?
Well, does it matter?
No.
So then just pick whichever you feel like doing. I don't think it makes any difference, and it's almost like fate and destiny if you're on if you've matched up with the same person twice.
Maybe. Another thing is, so what if you match with two guys and they have pictures together in their profiles, so you know they're like really good friends?
Well, you could always try going out with one, and if you don't like him, go out with the other.
But do you think they would talk about it?
Who cares? I mean, you're dating. I mean, this
Yeah.
is not relationships. I mean, in the old days, you were able to go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with a different guy. Until you've said you're the one, you're entitled to go. Either the man is entitled to have more than one date with only one girl, and you are as well. I think all's fair until you've made a commitment. Once the commitment is done, and what do you call it? You're
Exclusive.
You're exclusive. Then off the apps, off the things, all other just things are out.
Yeah. And so sometimes you match with people and then neither person starts the conversation. Like, what is that about? Like, is it the
They're
same
awkward,
rules in real
probably.
life? Like, should the guy always start the conversation in the dating app? Or, like, if you've already matched, it doesn't really matter?
I don't. Do you think it really matters? I think in today's world, who cares who starts the conversation?
Yeah.
I think just start the conversation. If it doesn't come easily, try to think of something cute to say to break the ice. But if it's too forced after a while, then maybe you just don't hit it off personality wise. But I think it's so unfair to say that over a text or over these apps.
Yeah.
I think if you live in the same area, say let's meet for a cup of coffee and see somebody face to face.
Because the thing is, like, are you going to do that with every single person you match with? Like, that's
Maybe.
That's a lot. Like, I used to think you have like one or two back and forths and then you just ask the person out and like, because you can't tell over message. But now I'm kind of like, I need to see part of your personality because like, I don't have time to go out with every single person I match with. So like, let's see if we get along over message first.
That's over the message or in person?
No, in text
Oh.
before meeting in person. Because
I really think this, you're over it. You know what? You young people have to do what makes you feel comfortable. After a couple of messages back and forth, if there is some kind of little enjoyment, a spark, whatever you would call it, I don't think you can have a spark over a text message.
No.
But
but
so
there could
let's
be
meet-
banter.
banter. Let's meet in person.
Yeah. And do you think with the meeting in person, like definitely have at least one mutual friend?
Well, it always would make it better. I see. What upsets me is that there's so many crazies in this world. How do you know how to decipher that? You can't really tell. If you know somebody, then you can check out either the guy or the girl, and I think it's more comfortable that way.
So
But
yeah, because
but I'm sure a lot of these apps are I'm sure there's not a serial killer in the apps, but it would be better if you had a hookup with somebody you knew.
wait, so you're gonna die. So we don't have to put this in, but he'll never listen to this. So I was chatting with someone on an app, and then I'm watching the U.S. Open the other night. And I'm like, why does the winner look so familiar?
Don't tell me it was one of your dates.
Literally, we're talking on an app. And I was like, oh my God, he just won the U.S. Open.
Are you serious?
I swear. Is that crazy?
So why don't you go out with him?
I guess I can. But I was like, wait, why does he look so familiar? And then I messaged after. I was like, congrats. Let's get into our dating topic of the week. Codependency. Both with your partner and also like codependency you can have
With your friends.
with your friends, with your mom or maternal figure. Let's talk about relationships first. Like, how do you know when you and your significant other are codependent and it's not just like normal?
Well, see, I'm talking from an older generation, so I don't know. As you get older, you become much more dependent on one another. That is for sure. So what maybe wasn't when you were in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, by the time you're in your 60s, you do become more dependent because, first of all, a lot of your friends go to different, move away. They're not around anymore. Many different reasons. So you do get very dependent on your mate. So that's just life. In the beginning, when you're in your 20s or 30s, I would say there's a moderate line that should be followed. I don't think you have to be together every single day. I don't, if you're not married. I think texting 95 times a day is terrible. However, it would be nice if you are in a relationship together to say, good morning. How's everything going? Hope your day is good.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Not every 5 minutes. What are you eating? What are you doing? Where are you going? How's the job? I think that becomes obsessive. And I think there's a line between has to be drawn with
So what is
obsessive
the
behavior.
line? Like, what is too much?
I think it depends on you. Some people actually enjoy spending 24/7 when they can with their partner, and that's fine. See, I don't think
Yeah,
there
but
should be any
24/7
rules.
is
Not when the workday. I'm not talking about between 9 and 6 or 7, but we're talking about in the evening. They want to spend time together. They're not interested in going out with friends. They want to be.
well, I think that's a sign of codependency if you don't have friends.
Yeah, but friends and a partner are different. Friends can be seen for a drink after work. And then your partner should be your main focus. Or you could say Tuesday night is for the girls
So then
or
maybe
for the guys.
the sign of codependency is like feeling like you can't function without them.
Well,
like,
right. And
if-
nobody should feel that. Because
Yeah.
then you're really not yourself anymore. You've become a lot, obsessive over the person. That's not good either. But I do think when you're in a serious relationship, you should be thinking, what would my partner be happy with?
Yeah.
And what makes me happy? And those are important things. And give yourself time. You're allowed to have me time. Like we were saying before, everybody has a time that they can go for themselves. They can go get a manicure. They can get themselves a haircut. They can
Yeah.
go for a run in the park. That doesn't have to be together 24/7.
like I see things on social media all the time that says like you should date yourself, like have like a date night with yourself, like whether that's doing relaxation, take a like tub and do a face mask, or like watching a show you like and ordering in, but like treat your relationship with yourself just as important as
That's nice. I think that's nice. I mean, I think that could be done on a Sunday also afternoon when
Yeah.
when either your guy is watching a ball game or a thing, and you could go do the same activity and then have dinner together as a couple.
Well, then how
Or-
come you
or
said-
the guy can go for a run in the park and do his thing.
Right.
I think everybody needs to have a little time to themselves. That I do agree. But then I think if you're in a relationship, you're in a relationship, and that's where it stands.
Would you feel like it was weird though to like treat yourself with a date night as if it was like a partner, like you're like you set up a nice dinner, like cook and
fine
like
if you
play
enjoy it.
music and kind of like a real date night except with yourself.
I think it's a little immature, if you ask me. But everybody should do what they like. If I had to put music on and put flowers on the table and get dressed up, I may as well go out with somebody. So I don't want to. My me night would be sitting in sweats and watching some stupid movie on Netflix. That would be my fantasy night. So once I'm getting dressed up and putting on music and making food for myself that's beautiful, I'd like to have a partner with me.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're any level of codependent with Poppy?
Yes, sure we are.
No, not dependent. Like everyone's dependent, but like, I mean, not just
No,
relying on each other, like codependent, like in the unhealthy way.
You know what? We're married almost 59 years, so we're unhealthy to begin with. I have no idea. At this point, you just do whatever you think makes the other person happy. Not all the time do you want to be together. And sometimes you don't want to be together, but you know your partner is lonely, so you make the effort and you do it. I mean, that's part of being mature and having a relationship. It's not all about you. It's about togetherness, but that you learn as you get older, and it's everybody has a different relationship and desires on that issue.
So let's say you're listening to this and you're like, shit, I think that I'm very codependent on my partner. Like I get very sad when I'm not with them and I have to run everything by them or whatever. Like, are there any ways to set boundaries?
Well, you see, I don't think that's so terrible.
What?
I mean, if you're in a relationship, what's so terrible asking about where he
because
wants?
because if you feel like you cannot function without the person,
You can't function.
like
then
if you're like if they're like I have to work late tonight and you're like get extremely stressed and anxious and sad.
Then that's no good. That's no good. Then you have to. Then actually, you need to seek help. I don't think we're the psychologists to tell you what to do. If the fact that somebody is doing his job or her job and you can't function without them, then that's an issue. That's a problem. I wasn't talking about that. I'm talking about normal behavior of wanting to have dinner together, of wanting to perhaps take a walk in the park, do things like that together. If you can't function by yourself ever, then that is a problem. I mean, you know, there is downtime where you can read a book by yourself and, like you say, do something for yourself, just for yourself.
Yeah.
And
So,
those
like,
times of that someone's busy.
So actually, I just was doing some Googling and like warning signs of a codependent relationship would be like people pleasing. So like they have no choice but to keep them happy. They don't want to say no even if it like interferes with their own needs. Lack of boundaries, so like you don't respect the other person's boundaries, or like you don't recognize any boundaries.
Well, these are all
poor
basics.
self-esteem, so like one person needs approval of the other person to have any purpose.
These are signs of immaturity too. I mean, you can be.
Well,
they really are. I think a lot of this, and you can be old and be immature in your thinking. I think.
Yeah, I guess like emotionally immature.
Yeah, emotionally immature. This sounds like, you know, that you're relying on somebody to have a personality that would fulfill you. That's not what it's supposed to be.
I think I have a codependent relationship with my mom. And you.
I think you have one with me.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I don't know about your mom.
Yeah.
I had one with I think I had one with my dad.
Yeah.
Actually, that I wanted to always be with him and have his approval. I think that sometimes that happens with a parent and child, and eventually when you become a parent yourself, or when you have it tapers off. When of course I was dependent on my dad till the day he died, so I don't know if it did. In my case, it didn't taper off. That's personal, as long as it doesn't change relationships. If you're in a relationship and your mother or father or brother or sister becomes gets in between you and your significant other, then there's a problem.
Yeah. Well, that's a different situation
I think that's
altogether.
different.
But I think it's more like about having your own autonomy, and like you have to make a serious effort, because I feel like a lot of people listening can probably relate to it. But like, you know, I call my mom 5 times a day, and
I used to call my mother every single hour on the day, and then I ended up playing bridge with her every afternoon.
But I don't think that's like normal. Is what I'm saying.
It might not be normal for some, but for us it was normal, and we really enjoyed each other's company. That is, I think you can define it. If you see your mother as your mother and also your best friend. Some people don't, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're strictly a relationship or a brother. Or if you see your brother, now I had one brother that I saw as my best friend. So, I think you
Yeah,
can't.
but a best friend is different than like relying someone to make all of your decisions.
No, but I have to tell you, I ran every decision that I ever made by him. And
Even
he-
like what to have for lunch.
well, that's ridiculous, Kim. If you need to have that, then there's something that then you better grow up.
I fully do that though.
Well, then that's no good.
Yeah.
Then
No good.
You got to talk through that.
Right. Okay, so we got a lot of listener questions on Instagram. Most of them we are going to answer on social media, but some of them we wanted to go through here because we thought they would be good longer discussions. Gefilte fish, yay or nay?
That's a question? Okay, I like it. And I like it with red horseradish, and Poppy likes it with white horseradish, but strictly for a holiday. It's only for a holiday. It's for Passover. It doesn't get eaten the rest of the year.
What's an elegant behavior you would like to see in young people?
Well, I think, you know my feeling about making an effort for either a date or a friend or any kind of occasion that you have together. I think opening a car door is still very nice. Being gentlemanly. I still think walking on the outside of a woman on the street is sort of still respectful.
How do you stay so energetic?
I have to keep up with my granddaughter, so that's really the bottom line. It's making me younger.
How to handle haters classily?
Well, I wouldn't deal with a hater, and if somebody is mean to you, if it's if it's on the your social media type of pages, I would just turn them off. I wouldn't even pay attention to them. I know it's hurtful, and especially for young adults, it's always more hurtful. Just ignore it because it really isn't worth talking about.
Yeah, I've been getting some hate on Instagram, and
because you're getting popular. So people
Yeah.
hate other. There are some people who don't like success, and that's their problem. You just have to eliminate
I
it.
just block them. It's
Yeah.
like it's your page. Like you should have the people like
Correct.
boosting you up and being positive on your page. And if someone's negative, like you don't get to comment. Sorry.
Right.
Like, how to tell a guy he's not the right one for me?
Well, I guess being honest. I mean, you could sometimes like somebody as a really nice friend, but it just doesn't have, we've talked about the tingle. And if you don't feel it after a while, it's silly to lead somebody on. And sometimes it's better off either stopping it, and sometimes in the future maybe they come back again and it's revisited, but usually it's not. So you just have to be polite and be nice, not mean, and say, I hope we can end as friends because it really is not the relationship I need. Always blame it on yourself because it's not really their fault if you're breaking up with the man or the man is breaking
Sometimes
up
it
with the woman.
is.
Yeah, but very rarely.
mostly
It's
not.
usually it's a one-sided thing. So always put it on yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you guys for listening this week. We have a lot of exciting guests coming up the next few weeks. And you know how to follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Excuse My Grandma is our handle. And we'll see you next week.